Hello again, this is Michelle at the Striped Rose. It is still Saturday, maybe April the 9th, and this is part two of the podcast that I just filmed. In that podcast, I showed you projects that I've been working on, actual projects. In this section, I'm going to try not to poke my finger and bleed all over the place. I'm going to show you charts that I have gotten in the past several months. I don't know if I don't know if this is everything. I don't know if some of these are repeats, but these are charts that I think are new charts. And then I'm also going to show you the projects that I really want to start now. So my current immediate radar. And then at the very, very end, I'm going to show you two knitted shawls that I made in January and February, two crochet blankets that I am currently working on, and the sourdough books that I've really been enjoying. So we can do this. We can do this. And I divided it up so that it wouldn't take so long to upload. Okay, so I showed you the humming of the bees chart, which was my most favorite thing from Market was Humming of the Bees, and I've already started that. That was my 49th birthday start. Okay, I pre-ordered this by Paulette. It was a Market exclusive, and I was confused about what Market exclusive meant. I thought Market exclusive meant that you had to get it at Market. I didn't know that, it was for the shops that came to Market for 30 days, and then any shops could order it. But I really do like it. Either way, I like it. This is not Market Haul. This is just Haul. I think this maybe was released last year. Sorry about the glare, but I don't want to annoy your pants off by taking things in and out of plastic. I really want to start that. If I finish Christmas Welcome, I'm going to start a new Christmas piece. And that may be it. I really want to do Winter Rose Manor too, but I may start that one. Now, my mom, this is Priscilla's Pocket. And there are three collections of these folk art blue pillows. I should have looked up the name. My mom has had a false graph everyday dishes forever, and they're kind of the yellow ochre gold, and they have like sponged blue patterns on them that kind of remind me of this. And so I thought how pretty this would be. See, I have no room in my house, so I'm trying to think of things to stitch for my mom's house. So I tell her about them and she gets excited, and then it's years and years and years. So but I think that my mom can appreciate the fact that I've thought of a project and gotten excited about a project, even if I don't complete the project, because I'm the apple that came from her tree. So I'd like to do these in a more country blue color, because I thought, what if I did a little collection of these and she could put it in one of the bowls, one of the shallow bowls, or a pie plate or something from that false graph pattern, and put it out on the counter. I have great ideas. Great ideas. All right. I got roses for Ruby. I want to stitch it, but I don't know about the hog bristle. I got some hog bristle, but and you can tell in this picture it's a yellow fabric, and yellow and green fabrics aren't my very favorite, but it does look beautiful. And I know that's what Brenda, the sampler stitcher, used on hers, and it was beautiful. So this is another thing I got. This could have been, my mom gave me a gift certificate for Christmas. Some of these could have been, I know this one and the last one were from the Christmas. I want to do this. It's beautiful. I bought this for Laura's birthday, and I was going to do it on American chestnut because she loves American chestnut so much. And I bought a conversion from Vicky Clayton. I've never used Vicky Clayton silks, but I bought the conversion for this, and I love it. And it didn't get started because I was in a stitchy slump over the new year. I was actually traveling on New Year's Day from Savannah home. New Year's Eve, I finished a shawl New Year's Eve. I really like this. I don't know that I have ever stitched a heart and hand, but I just saw someone had done this and it was just the cutest thing ever. So I got that. I've wanted this for a really long time because Tina at For the Love of the Stitches stitched it. I want to stitch everything she does. But that's just classic. I love that. I bought this because I loved it. I think this might have been the Needlework Expo in the fall. And that's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Here is the Summer Welcome. That's a companion piece to the two Christmas ones, the winter and Christmas ones. And I don't think I would change anything on this one. A beehive, a watermelon. I don't know if those are blackberries. I like that a lot. I love this. This is by Shakespeare's Peddler. I just love that. And I think I would put that on my great aunt wall. I bought this right before Christmas because Jerry really likes moose. And I just thought, and that's why I bought it. I bought it for like a Christmas moose. And Mary Margaret's fiance, Jamie, they have the most Scottish sounding names. I mean, not the most Scottish sounding names because they're obviously Scottish Gaelic names and things like that. But for Americans, they have, they both have Scottish last names. And anyway, it's very cute. But he is very rugged, outdoorsy. And so I thought, if I made some Christmas ornaments for her and I made, the moose for Jerry, these might be a good ornament for him. Okay. All right. Someone told me, a little bird told me that there was a needle worker on eBay destashing months ago. And I got the Nostalgic Needle, I think it's Sharon Cohen, charts at this destash. And these are ones that I really wanted. I don't know why, but I mean, I have loved this for like 15 years. I used to be really interested in black work. And at some point, I'll show you a 25-year-old whip that I just had to have. It was the very first kit I ever bought. It was $28 in 1997. And I think I have to do the crown. It's a Green Knight. Maybe by... No, it's not. It's by somebody else. But anyways, I was really interested in black work. But for some reason, this design dings my bell. I don't know why. I mean, why? It's peas. And it's 3 shades of green. And I just think I love it. I have been in love with that. I've been in love with those peas for a long time. This, I'm sure I saw this before, but I love that. Not as much as I like those peas. And then this one, I don't think I'd ever seen this one before, but I was getting those peas, and I really liked the Elizabethan. Well, I guess they're all Elizabethan, but so that was a surprise several months ago. Okay, I got the Heart Remembers, and I am really I'm excited. I'm excited about. I love it. And I'm very excited that Where My Heart Blooms, Home is Where My Heart Blooms, is in there. But this, I love that this is available now, and I love this color conversion. This is slightly different than the one that was originally released, and this one is me. I love that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to a lot of things. Got to take my vitamins and do my yoga. And this is just in there because I was looking through it at my grandmother's house the other day. This one. Oh, I pre-ordered this from Market. Those, I mean, I like the center, but the rose border and the violets, that just knocked my socks off. So this is by Lila's Studio. This is my great aunt wall. I'm not sure who. I'm going to try to get them all in a, maybe a binder. And then I'll show you all of them because it will be decades before I can actually show you a great aunt wall at the rate I'm going. Okay, this was a pre-order because of this right here. I love that so much. Now, I love the birds. I love the pin cushions. I mean, I love everything in here. But that just sings to me. Really like that. So this is Heartstring Samplery. Okay, so those are haul. Now I have a stack to show you. This is old haul. What do you call old haul? Stash. All right, this is stash. These are the things that are on my immediate radar currently that have been calling to me very, very loudly. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Oh, I got these on eBay. Very sharp. They're pretty heavy. I mean, if things bother your hands, I mean, of course, you're picking it up and you're making a little snip, but they're heavier than other. I mean, they're big. And I'm afraid I've gotten some scissors off eBay before, and the finish has kind of rubbed off. The silvery toned finish is, and I really hope that, and I almost don't want to use these because I'd rather just have them nice as a decoration, but they're so sharp. I really like using them. All right. This one just called to me today when I was looking for a bag, and this was in a bag. This is The Savior's Love by Lottie Da. And I remember when I had to have this one. I have to have that right now because I homeschool and I still mean to do it. Absolutely. 100%. Okay, this, I think about this a lot. It's just a sweet little black dog. And I could put 1861 in there. That's sweet. Or I could put 2011 when we got Hector, but that wouldn't be nice because, we have little Ramses too. It wouldn't be nice for me to stitch a Hector and not stitch a Ramses. So I might just do the 1861 because it's a vintage. Oh, speaking of vintage. When I went to the jeweler to have the ring worked on, my 25-year-old engagement ring, the lady who worked there, my aunt used to have a jewelry store, and that's where I got my engagement ring. And but my aunt doesn't have a jewelry store anymore. She does different things. And so I was going to drop my diamond ring off with somebody, and I was worried about it. And so she said, go to this jewelry store and ask for this lady because she plays the piano at our church. So, and this lady is, a little older than me. So this is not like a 16-year-old kid. And so I noticed when she wrote out my receipt, to come back and claim my ring, she wrote the description, engagement ring, vintage. I'd never thought about my engagement ring as vintage before, but all right. So I want to do the little black doggy. This is a freebie from Plum Street Samplers, so you can find it on her blog. I've wanted to do this for years. To thine own self be true. It's not a freebie. Oh, I'll put this over here. This is another Plum Street Sampler. I have my charts in binders. I have like Christmas, winter, Valentine's, spring, I don't know. I've got like 20 binders. So seasonal things are in binders. And then the rest of, say, Plum Street Samplers designs are in a Plum Street Sampler binder. Or sometimes I combine a couple of designers in a binder, but Plum Street's got her own binder. This is Brother's Keeper. This is the story of Cain and Abel. And I really have been wanting to do the not the Noah's Ark, the Garden of Eden one. It's a different style than this, but I've really wanted to do that for years and years and years. But that Brother's Keeper is appealing to me right now. All right, so I've been thinking a lot about my blue sampler. So in this edition of Sampler and Antique Needlework, right there, fall 2011. Or you can get it on the CD. There's this. And it's strange down here. Industry is the path to happiness. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it's true, you know. Sometimes you have to be busy to sort of pull yourself out of a funk. It's not like a guaranteed hard and fast thing that industry is going to make you happy. But it's kind of a quirky little thing from the past. I like the colors. That would really look nice on my blue sampler wall. It's called Ann Pierce Down Sampler. That's calling to me. This barks at me. That little black dog. I do like a black dog. This one, really, I just can't believe I haven't started this, and I may do it on the Seraphim Antique Lace. Carriage House Samplings. I mean, I think it calls for like 3 colors. I like that. I've loved that forever. Okay, so I showed you the red sampler Alice Lots that I'm working on right now. So when I finish the French Alice Lots, I'm going to do a German one. And this one, I think the translation is something about if you stir yourself up, it brings victory, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what it says. But the reason I like it is because when I get the German ones from European Reproduction samplers. This is Sabine Tatera Gundacher. I look for the German ones that have a school name on it that sounds, I don't know, that appeals to my fancy. That's what I do. Alice Lotz, I think hers says that she's a student of such and such school, maybe. I can't remember. But I like it when they have a place name or a school name, or a lot of the German ones have a saying. That's what I like. That's what one of the things I'm really looking for when I pick these samplers. And this one calls for 2 shades of DMC, and I really like just that interplay there of those 2 shades of red. So that one would be next in my red sampler category. This Manor at Quaker Hill. I've got my colors for this, and I might do it on Seraphim Antique Lace. Now you see this yellow Harvest Basket. I ordered Harvest Basket a year or 2 ago after this came out, and I got a Harvest Basket that looks very much like that one. But that's not the Harvest Basket skein that I'm using in Humming of the Bees. I'm using a duller tan one. All right, this is an old one that I have always loved. That I just want to stitch it. I just want to stitch it. Oh, okay. This one, I was watching Needle and Flax this morning, and she showed this. And I've been thinking a lot about this one. When I was stitching the Christmas Winter Welcome on the Wayfarer's Cloak by Legacy, the 38 Legacy linen, I was thinking that would probably be good for this. It's a grayish brown, solid color, but I think the pale pink and the whites would pop on it. So I'd like to start that. That would be a good May Day start. All right, and the last one in my pile is also from European, reproduction samplers. Carolina Kisling, the Dachshund sampler. Oh, what do you think about that boy? He's half Dachshund. I just don't know. I mean, I could do this on 40 count Zweigart Platinum. That would probably be fine. I think it's all DMC. Here, let's see. I guess that's the original, and that's a reproduction. All right, so that is my immediate radar. So if you only want to hear about cross stitch, I'm done. I'm done until I put all this away. So now I'm just going to show you these 2 sourdough books that I've really been enjoying, and then 2 knitted projects, 2 crocheted projects, and I'm out. Okay. So I've played with sourdough off and on over the years and years, and I think I got my first sourdough and maybe some subsequent sourdough starters from King Arthur Flour. I think you can still get one from King Arthur Flour. But several months ago, I saw that my very favorite place to order seeds is Baker Creek Seeds. The website is rareseeds.com. They have an incredible catalog. They send explorers all over the world looking for heirloom, really heirloom, unique seeds. You can get melons from different places. I think they're very ethical as well. I mean, they're not going in like the people who go up and dig cacti out of the wild. They're not doing that. And I think I've told you before that we went to we went to Colorado. They're in Missouri. We went to Colorado, and I guess they were vacationing, and we saw them on the streets, and I fangirled. I couldn't speak because of these people who sell seeds, who sell vegetable and flower seeds. And Jerry was like, you need to go and tell them, that you really appreciate what they do, preserving these old varieties. There was a year, I remember not too long ago, where they sold no corn seeds because they had a problem and they could not guarantee that there was not GMO pollen in the corn seeds, which if you've got somebody else's GMO pollen in your corn seed, there's like a legal issue. I don't know. It's a mess because pollen, flies around. Anyway, so Jerry went over and he talked to him, and he told him that we both really appreciate the work that they do preserving these seeds and reintroducing these seeds and going all over the world and hearing the stories of the people who have preserved these seeds, these are part of the seeds, it's part of their heritage that their family has been using, and they go and capture their stories, and sometimes they talk about that in their catalog. Where am I going? Oh, I saw, had a sourdough starter for sale. It comes dried. The King Arthur Flour one came in a little plastic container, and it was wet. This one is dehydrated like flakes. I think it's from Turkmenistan. And so I've got it going. And then I saw someone had this book, because I do like to use whole grains instead of just white. And this has white and various grains in it. And it has really good trouble starting, how to set up your starter, how to make sure your starter is strong and healthy, and some really good recipes in it. And she tries to take out some steps that she doesn't believe are necessarily essential to making. I think she talks about keep sourdough simple. And she recently came out with another book that I just got yesterday. And this has filled sourdoughs, flat sourdoughs. I know this one has crackers. I've made some of the sourdough crackers. But her name is Ellen Bodie, and I think her you can look at her on Instagram. She has a website where she offers recipes, free recipes too. But it's really fancy looking sourdough, but there's a lot more troubleshooting in this one. You know, my sourdough smells like, you know, this. Is that okay? And different things. So those are two things that I have been poring over, and I've made a lot of sourdough. Last night I made one with some wild rice mixed into it. All right, so now I'm just going to show you 2 knitted shawls and then the crochet blankets. So I told you I wasn't stitching a lot in January, but I was knitting. This was the first one I finished, and I did an extra repeat, and it made it way too big. This is using DK Weight Barocco Vintage in 3 colors because I wanted it to look like Danny at the Little Bobbins podcast. I wanted it to look like hers. It's just way too big. But it's very soft. It's very warm. I'm still going to wear it because I admired her version of this for years and years. And I actually have it packed away in Ziploc bags. I've packed away my things, and I put a little bit of lavender essential oil and sort of run it over the zipper. I don't know. I'm trying desperately to keep moths out. But it's freezing cold here today, so. All right, so I did that one, and then I did another one that I bought the yarn for years ago. And this is Mina Phillips, the Stitching Expat Snow Day Shawl in Quince and Company. And it's a strangely shaped one, and it's even more strangely shaped because I didn't leave enough give, so it curls up on itself. But this was yarn I probably bought 6 years ago. And it's not as difficult as it looks. And so I wore it. We went to see Celtic Woman at the Fox in Atlanta, and I wore it. I'm not quite sure the best way to style it, really. Maybe like over one shoulder more than the other. It's a little awkward, but next year I'm gonna make sure I figure that out and wear it a lot. I finished it in February, and I wore it a couple times out, and sometimes I wear them when I'm sitting and watching TV because I get cold. Okay, there is a Facebook group. I wonder where my chapstick is now. There is a Facebook group called Attic 24 and More. It used to be called Woodland Blanket and More, and it's a crochet group that you join. Attic 24 and More. Attic 24 is Lucy. I can't remember her last name, but all her patterns are free. All these amazing cross-stitch patterns are free with step-by-step, super zoomed-in pictures of this is where you put your needle for this stitch. Don't miss this stitch, and amazing. So about twice a year, Lucy puts out a blanket with, a particular stitch, and she has a colorway, and her colorways are usually 15 or 17 colors that go together. This is a Lucy blanket. This was actually the Moorland blanket, and the idea behind this blanket is that it starts in the sky, and then it goes down to the heather, and then it goes down, I don't know where the end of it is, and then it goes down to the ground, and you have, you start losing your purples and you start adding in browns. So and she's got a couple that are like that. I think she calls it a blanket story. But then in the past couple years, she's also added in different variations. Maybe you don't want to do the color story. Like I did one color story. I love it. It's Jerry's blanket. Mary Margaret was dating a young man in high school, and he was at our house, and I guess he was cold, and he said, can I use that blanket? And Jerry said, no, that's my blanket. I was just like, That's Jerry's blanket. And it gets washed all the time because it's also Hector's blanket. And Hector stinks. So she'll do, like, you could do a color wash variation or a random order variation. And then on this Facebook group, Addict 24 and More, you have people taking Lucy's color ideas and tweaking them. So this blanket over here, this is her pattern, the Woodland Stripe. And these colors are very similar to the colors that are used in her Moorland blanket, but there's just a couple changes. And that's a color way that someone on the Addict 24 and More Facebook page had come up with. They had just tweaked these colors and done them in this order and shared it with the group. Not the last blanket. In the fall, her blanket was a Christmas blanket, a big square that just goes around and around and around. And the colors weren't what I was craving. And then I looked on the Facebook group, and someone had done the pattern, but had come up with these colors: grays, reds, and greens. And this was what I was craving. I didn't know it, but this, oh boy, this is what I was craving. So here's the center. It's got duck egg and cream, and then the rest are grays, greens, and reds. And so you start in the center, and you just go around and around, and your square gets these squares at the end. I probably have like 8 more rows to do. These squares at the end. Oh, I frequently spill coffee. These rows at the end get really, really long. But so somebody just said, oh, those colors aren't my jam, and said these are, and then shared it on the group. And this is the 3rd blanket that I've made using someone else's color combination, a group member, someone who isn't the designer, Lucy, a group member's color combination. I can't remember what the other one was that I did. Oh yeah, it was like a winter morning. It had soft blues and lavenders, but anyway, and if you are new to crochet, Lucy is the way to go, because she holds your hand, and also those people in the group are always willing to help, and they're willing to share, and it's very inspiring. So there was a color I was missing, and I had to wait for it to come, graphite, and I had to wait for it to come back in stock. So I started another one. I didn't turn. I mean, I've got bags of blankets upstairs that I've started, but I wanted to start a new one. This is one of Lucy's blankets. This is the Hydrangea Stripe. And this might be the easiest one because every row is exactly the same. Once you figure out how to make this little shell, that's all you do. There's no, I mean, a ripple is really easy as long as you're comfortable decreasing and increasing and counting. But this you don't even really have to count. This is her Hydrangea Stripe pattern and her Hydrangea colorway. I made this exact thing and then I made this, and I turned immediately and made another one in this colorway, but in a different pattern, in this pattern, the Woodland Stripe. And then my nieces said, we need blankets, and they were exactly the same color, so I gave those to them, and I've wanted to, and I made a pink one, just straight pink, in this pattern for Mary Margaret. So this will be the 3rd time I'm doing the hydrangea, and the 3rd time I'm using, and I just follow the exact same color sequence each time because it's gorgeous. I just love it. I think that's all the colors on it, and then I've started the 2nd repeat of the colors. And this one got really big. I don't know why this one got so big, but it's if I fold it in half to show you, I mean that's half. But that's fine. I have a queen size bed, and I would use this. I would use this in a heartbeat as a bedspread, as the top. Except my my cats both need biscuits, some people call it. Pop their claws is what I call it, because it makes that popping noise when they're doing it on furniture. And they love to do that to crochet blankets. And Bridget needs, she always has, she needs with her claws fully extended. And I wake up sometimes and I have little red marks on my stomach because in the night she's been, you don't want to know that. Maybe you didn't want to know a lot of what you heard, but I'm glad to be back podcasting again. And I will see you. I hope I see you soon. Bye.